Well, unexpected. I did not play the opening very well, but from a certain moment on, I feel like I recovered quite nicely and I calculated some nice variations. Uh, and then I think from the beginning this rook ending has to be a draw, but it's much easier to play with white. And also I had more time, which was also definitely a factor in Vidit making some unfortunate decisions, and very quickly it no longer even looked like a draw. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with today, because bouncing back immediately after a loss is sort of exactly what you want to do in a match like this. Yeah, I don't really play d4 openings all that much these days, so pretty much any territory is unfamiliar territory for me. So yeah, I was more or less on my own from, I don't know, move 7. Yeah, but that's not something I can control. It was a complicated position. There were a lot of calculations that needed to be made, so it's understandable that we both burned a lot of time at a certain point, but it was, I think, justified, both from my side and from his side. I mean, I thought I have winning chances in this rook ending in general, but once he went passive, like after he played king c7 and rook g6, I thought his position became very, very dangerous, and I didn't know I was winning for sure, but I felt that I must have at least very, very good chances for a win. And yeah, very quickly from that moment, it just became completely obvious that I'm winning. Well, I don't know if it helps chess. It definitely helps the players who are playing the matches. I said that during the press conference before the event, because I think this format gets almost universally ignored, because we play very short matches during the World Cup, and that's basically it. So young players in particular have absolutely no experience playing matches, and it allows you to sort of prepare for games and to, generally just treat this in a way that even a round robin or a Swiss tournament definitely never really allow you to approach this in that way, because you can try to specifically look for weaknesses in your opponent's game, try to work out what works best, because you have a reasonably long distance to play against the same person. And I've always enjoyed playing matches, but I haven't played. I mean, I played more matches than Vidit has, but I haven't played very many myself, and that's why this invitation was extremely welcome, because I thought, this gives me an opportunity to do something that I generally don't do very often, and I always felt, very excited about the prospect of playing matches. It's so difficult to choose, because if you take, I think there's probably the obvious top 4, right? It will be, in some order, Gukesh, Arjun, Pragnananda, and Nihal. And at the moment, judging solely by results, I guess you probably have to pick Gukesh, but who will be the strongest of them for, I don't know, in 1 year's time and 2 years' time is not easy to judge. They're all extremely promising, extremely hardworking, and this generation of Indian players is going to be unbelievably exciting to watch for many, many years to come. So I'm just, I'm very excited just to be there to, I don't think I will be playing against them very much, but I am hoping to be able to, I don't know, commentate on their games for years to come. The problem, not the problem, the kind of a secret thing about the Russian chess school is it's not actually a school. When people say Russian chess school, what I think they should mean is basically, because of the attitude towards chess in Soviet Union, which was very different to the one in the West, where in the West for many years, maybe not anymore, but for many, many years, chess was, at best a hobby. Nobody really took chess playing seriously. It was a profession for very, very limited number of people, and it really wasn't something prestigious you thought about as a good career for your child. Whereas in Soviet Union, in particular for boys, but also for girls, it was something that every parent, not every parent, but most parents would try. And then if it doesn't work, if your child is not very gifted in that direction, you try something else. But what happens if you do this is you ensure that people don't slip through the cracks, that gifted children who in the West perhaps would never been shown the board, you know, they were given the pieces on the board and told to try. And then, like, I can, point to my example. My father gave me a chessboard when I was 6. And my parents no longer had to think about anything because it was quite clear what I wanted to do in life, Yeah. So, and I think in this respect, what's happening right now in India is very similar, because I think due to, first of all, the success of Anand and his fantastic career and how wonderful an ambassador for chess he was for many, many years, and also because of the successes of the new generation, I think India is pretty much in this same position where parents will be very encouraged to show the game to their children. And with a country this large, this, I think, more or less ensures that you will have kind of a non-stop, as long as this is in place, as long as this attitude towards chess exists, you will have a conveyor belt of unbelievably talented players, because, I mean, India is generally a place for talented kids, and if they're aimed at chess, you will have a very, very bright future. Everything seems fine. Yeah, I expected to be greeted very warmly. I kind of knew that the people will treat me well, and I will feel very welcome. And that's exactly how the first few days have been. Yeah, I can only say good things about my experience so far. It's been very nice. That was a long time ago, but that is true. Yeah.
You're a fan of Dravid.
I'm actually sort of, in those years I was more a Dravid fan actually, but I thought that would be a bit too obscure for a chess server to call myself Dravid. Nobody will really pay any attention. But the thing was, I actually asked Vish's permission for this, because I knew what will happen, and it did happen, that if you take this nickname on a server and you play well, and in those years I was a very good internet player, people will immediately assume you're Anand. And I would always say no, and people would like ask me in chat, "Are you Anand?" And I would always say no, and they would still refuse to believe me. And because I was sure it was going to happen, I asked him beforehand, and he said, "Sure, I don't mind. Yeah, you can take this name." And yeah, so that's how it was. But that was 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago.
It's a lot.
Sure.